2, 1, and. Mom. Juliet. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We got a jam-packed show for you today.
We got a jam-packed PanCake Friday.
PanCake Friday.
We got a jam-packed pancake.
We have some poetry coming up. We have some people of the week. We got some buy and sells. And first and foremost, we've got some news. Oh, no, damn it. I was News alert. We got some creepers outside on the street here. This is Derek Shirk on the ground reporting. Yeah, so here I am outside 602 Lucerne, and on Friday evening we had some creepers trying to bring kids into the back of their black truck and white van. This is not a joke. I am dead serious. And the police came around and warned us of these pedophile creepers. So keep your eyes open for that, please and thank you. All right, thanks for that, Derek. That was great. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
I don't think you should ever be a reporter.
Why?
Why?
What the fuck?
Was so
That was out of nowhere. Why would you say that? And I don't need to hear because I'm bad. It's just...
That was wonderful, babe.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Neve. Good to see you.
Hey,
Welcome back.
Thanks.
How was your week?
Yeah, it was really good. It was kind of busy. Well, work was kind of busy. My work week went really fast this week.
Good. That's
Yeah.
nice. I love a fast work week.
Yeah, and it's weird because the past couple weeks, I've worked 4 days because we had a holiday and then I had a day off. But for some reason, this week's just gone like super quick.
Yeah. Was it busy that it went quick, or was you just enjoying what you were doing?
I mean, I always enjoy what I do. I love what I do. But I think I was busy this week, but it wasn't like I'm rushed off my feet busy. It was just getting shit done. And I think that's the kind of environment I like the best. It's just like you're not stressed, but you're going hard all day, every day.
Yeah, I mean, I always feel, well, I don't feel bad. I always just wonder how, like, I've never worked a retail job or any job really where while I'm working, there's nothing to do. Like, I can think back in my head when I worked at Vera Burger, there was one weekend I worked 2 days in a row. And I watched all the Star Wars and all the Lord of the Rings over the course of like my shifts because they're literally literally no one came in and it was just on TV. So me and my coworkers just sat there and watched.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, every job I've done is one where you like there is just stuff to do until you're done working. And so sometimes like I'll walk into like a retail place and I'll just look around and I'll be like, these people are doing nothing. And I don't mean that like it just must be boring, or someone that like sits in a convenience store and just like, I don't know, like the vape shop. Like, God, the hours at a vape shop must go by slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I think for me it's more like I had to do a lot of problem solving this week. So I had to use my brain a lot, and especially I think it was yesterday. The last hour of work, I was trying to figure something out, and it was just so hard to figure out because I had to do all these math equations to get the number that I needed to get, but it was different each time. So like it really worked my brain, and I think that just makes the time go faster because I'm like constantly trying to figure something out.
Yeah, Riley was explaining this to me. I can't remember, but there's like, there's something to do with like your perception of time when you're doing something's like you lose track of time, so it moves faster. But he had a really interesting answer. It wasn't just like that's obvious, right?
Yeah.
But there's a reason for it in your brain. I was just thinking. I've got a big announcement. I'm just doing this on my own, so I apologize if you're not cool with this. But we all here as Canadians are, and I hate to get political.
I'm not Canadian.
Sorry, well, you live in Canada. You're
You're
I hate to get political here, but I'm sure you've all heard of the tariffs. So to counter the tariffs, we are going to take 25% off the price of
Our
Rain
free-
City Variety
our free
Podcast.
subscription.
So you guys are welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. So that's 25% less than you already pay for the subscription to our podcast
Our
here.
free podcast.
You're welcome, and we just sincerely hope that when you're getting $42 bananas or avocados from California, that you go, well, I can afford the extra one because of the money I'm saving on Rain City. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's valid, babe.
What, do you want me to tariff them? And then all of a sudden they're getting charged 20%, 25% more on this as well.
I
Wow.
mean,
Wow.
25% of 0 is still 0. But that's okay.
Neve, just give our listeners something. We're at the lowest of the lows right now. We are so goddamn low. We just need something. If 25% off 0 is what we get, we'll take it.
Yeah, that's so fair.
Anyhow, that's the end of the political announcements. I just thought that would.
That's the end of the podcast.
That's the end of the podcast. I just thought I would. I know we don't do politics here, but I had to do just a little.
Oh yeah, give them a little something,
Give 'em a little something. Now back to the pod.
Anyway, how's your week been, Derek?
Well, my week's been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go back. So my week, just so people are aware, my week is basically Thursday to Thursday now.
Oh yeah.
Well,
okay. Yeah.
because the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, the weekend. I mean, Friday. What did we do Friday?
Friday we went out for dinner. Right?
What?
We went.
Yeah, we went to that
We went
50-course meal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to a 12-course meal at Mackenzie
Mackenzie room.
which is right across from Pigeon Park.
No, Oppenheimer.
Which is Pigeon Park, I'm pretty sure.
Is it? I thought Pigeon Park was the one opposite the Amsterdam Cafe.
Maybe. No, I don't know.
Okay.
They're all,
either way.
There's a whole bunch of
Pigeon,
crackheads in both of them.
They're crack parks.
They're crack parks. It
That's all
doesn't
you need to
matter.
know.
I feel like if you know the difference, maybe that's the problem. Like if someone messages in comments, they're like, actually, Oppenheimer's not the crack den, that's the heroin one. Pigeon Park's clearly that one. It's like, oh.
Worrying, you know that.
Okay. No, so we went to that, and first off, it's not a Michelin star, but from what I understand, they're
it's
trying.
Michelin rated. It's on the Michelin website.
Oh, okay.
It just hasn't received a star yet, but
So
I think it will.
Do you get a star if you get? Is it like inevitable you will if you're rated on it, or is it like?
I think it's a high likelihood.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that it's on that level because it was incredible.
It deserved a Michelin star, that's for
Yeah.
sure. Like I've never had food that good ever in my life, and I'm a big foodie, but the food we had there was insane.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then I thought it was hilarious too because like I've never done fine dining.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought it was pretentious, but not pretentious like I hate it. I was just like, I don't know, I just feel like you're paying a lot of money for a small amount of food. Like how good could that be?
Yeah.
But I became extremely pretentious quickly. Like the
Yes.
first thing I tried, I ate it and I was like, like the black squid ink really makes this bread a lot more moist as I put the pate on it. And then I heard myself say that and I was like, what the fuck just came out of my mouth? That was awesome.
I think it's really funny as well because we went for a drink or a couple drinks beforehand, and I'm the type of person that looks at the menu beforehand every single time we go anywhere, even if I know the menu, I'll look at it again. So I looked at the menu and I wasn't that stoked. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. Like, it seems to be some kind of weird shit. And I like food, but I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna like some of this stuff. Every single thing I tried, I liked.
Yeah.
Everything. Like, there was nothing I didn't like. I didn't do the desserts, but
I mean, the desserts were good. They were just,
Yeah.
but I'd say out of all the stuff, they were just desserts.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The grape, I loved the grapes.
The grapes were really
The grapes
good.
were really good. The salad, I thought the first 3 dishes were insane.
Dude, and that's the thing is, like, even the salads that they brought out were just so freaking good. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know a salad could be that good.
Yeah, like I would honestly recommend. I'm just gonna throw a free plug out for Mackenzie Room. It was $80. I think after it came out, it was $110. But that was like
with tax
and tip and everything, because there's a gratuity on because we had a table of 14 or something.
Yeah, when we booked.
When we booked, so like that. But I think it was like 80 pre-tax and all that, and it's just such a crazy experience. And one thing I realized about that is that's actually my style of eating, not the fine dining portion.
It was perfect for you.
The small portion sizes, and you share, because for anyone that knows me or those that don't, like, I'll get a hamburger with French fries and I'll finish, and the waiter will be like, "Was your food okay? Do you want us to take it back?" I'm like, "No, I'm just full." Like,
you're a little an often person. You don't do big meals.
Yeah.
In general, I
damn
find.
Straight.
But I think that was perfect for you, because you got to try everything, but it was just like 2 bites of everything. So
I love tapas.
Dude, you can't get like proper tapas here. The only place that we've had really good tapas here was Como.
Yes.
When we went there for Valentine's Day.
Maybe we go. That was with Dax and Sarah.
We went on a double day on Valentine's Day there.
Maybe we go to Como for my birthday. I'm saying now. Yeah.
Oh, would you want to? Because I can arrange it.
Yeah, you know someone?
I got some connections.
I'm a pimp.
I'm a PIMP.
Yeah. So okay, that place was really good. Mm-hmm. Highly recommend it. Mackenzie Room again, and then we go into Saturday. Saturday was nuts.
Saturday was awesome, yeah.
Because the morning was good. Like I had a soccer game at 5:30, but we just hung out. If you remember, I went out. Oh, that's when we found out about all the baby or the loo rig. Anyhow, Liverpool won their soccer game, so that was big. And then my game, and I scored the best goal I've scored in a long ass time. And it was off of I've scored some really nice goals. Like every year I score a few nice ones where I'm like, oh, that was a sweet one. So even this year I scored one that was actually nicer than this. But this one, the meaning of it, like, we're playing against let me set the scene. We're playing against the team that the only way they beat us is either they nick one and then they just counterattack, or they get to shoot out, or then they just get a shootout or something like that. And that's how they beat us notoriously. And we always dominate them but can't score. So they scored 10 minutes in off of, like, I don't even know how it went in. Like, I'm not even saying, like, what happened. I just don't remember how it went in. But then around 35 minutes, I just smashed home, like, a turned outside curl volley. And that I think actually won us the game. Like, Cam literally did, but I think that, like,
everyone got super hyped after that.
We needed a goal, because you could feel this tension of, like, here we go again.
Yeah.
So that was amazing, and I was all jacked up off of that, and so was the whole team. And again, I don't want to pretend like I did it alone. Like, we're a team. We always do everything as a team. But, like, it was just on this day was my day. And then 85th minute, I sub off because my legs are cramping, and I'd played pretty much the whole game. And then Reed, who's a beast, Reed is like 2 seconds later has to come off because he's actually just cramping up. So I run back on after like 2-minute break.
Oh, yeah.
Off me running on, the ref blows the whistle. Guy on our team passes me the ball. I chip it over top, and Cam runs in on it and scores.
Yeah.
So I got an apple on the game winner. So yeah, I've just been riding that all week.
Yeah. That was really good, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see your goal.
I'm not surprised.
Because I never ever, and I honestly, like.
Well, we have a baby now.
No. At this point, I believe it's like a good luck charm. Like, if I'm looking the whole time, guarantee you won't score. But if I, like, turn away and I'm talking to someone, every single time, that's when you score. And everyone else sees it, and I never see it. So I believe that's good luck in my head.
All right, whatever gets us the cup.
I saw their faces react, and I turned around and I see the ball going in, and I thought Armand scored it because he was right there. And I was like, Rachel, sick, Armand just scored a goal. And she was like, Neve, that was Derek. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I was stoked, and now we're in the finals, and this is huge because, like, we've got back-to-back championships. Unfortunately, lost out by a point this year. And then we have the B Cup and the club's history. We've never won the A Cup. We've never even been in the A Cup final. So this is a big moment for us. And then for me on a personal level, which I guess it'd
So
be...
you're in the A Cup final.
Yeah, this is the A Cup final. And then, like, on a personal level, that'd be sweet for me, along with basically, like, Joey, Armand, like, all those guys, is we'd all have collected all the cups.
Yeah.
Like, we've got everything you can get, which is just, I don't know, I'm like, it doesn't matter. I don't need to win the A Cup to, like, prove anything.
No,
or
but it
whatever,
still feels
it just,
good.
It feels good to,
Yeah.
like, have all of them checked
course.
off. Yeah. Yeah, and so I've just been riding that, and then also yesterday I go to 11 aside or 7 aside.
11 aside.
To 7 aside, and my first literally 2 minutes I go on and score 2 goals. So I've just been cooking, and I scored the week before in the quarterfinals, and I'm just hoping that I can keep this form up for one more game and get us a cup.
You got it, babe. I believe in you.
I believe I got it going. I believe in myself right now.
Yeah, we'll be there watching. So.
Yes, ma'am. My week's been really good, and then honestly today was a bit of a rough day. It was a long day.
It's your long day.
It's my long day, but yeah, it was just the people. I don't know. I'll say, without getting like too into it all, is you choose to be happy or miserable. And it doesn't mean that every day you have to be happy all the time, but like truly your choice on what you perceive affects things. And I can't help but notice, like, the people that were awful to deal with today consistently always just try and like it doesn't matter what it is, they're always just kind of leaning towards negative.
Yeah.
So it's just like, all I can really recommend from experience in my job is, if you find everything to be negative and bad, maybe that's true, but odds are there's probably a lot of it is like you're focusing in on that, as opposed, and therefore
It's
it
where
becomes...
you put your energy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for this weekend. I'm actually excited just for our Friday, to be honest.
What are we doing Friday?
Nothing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I love doing nothing. You good?
Okay, yeah, I'm just looking at a question here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I've got a question for you.
Right.
How far back do you have to go before plastic becomes a future object? Like for example, let's say you like look back in time, right? Or in a picture from like the 19 like, or no, like, sorry, not a picture. Let's say, like, let's travel back to like medieval times, like kings and queens in England. If you showed up with a plastic bottle, then they'd be like, what the fuck is that, right?
Yeah.
So how far back do you think you have to go before that was? Like, obviously medieval times, but like...
I'd probably say, like, I don't know when plastic was invented, but, I actually want to make, like, an educated guess here, okay? You look it up, see when it was invented. I'm going to say the 1800s, and I'm going to say, like, later side of the 1800s.
Do you later side of, just give a date.
Give like, okay, what's my threshold? Like, if I'm within what do I get a point?
I'll give you like 10 years.
10 years either side. I'm gonna say 1867.
Okay, I'm just looking here. Okay, so we have cellophane, early plastic. So the first full synthetic plastic was invented in 1907 by a Belgian chemist.
Wow, really?
However, the plastic story began way before with celluloid. So in 1855, so you weren't off. I'll give you that.
I wasn't within the 10 years. But
yeah,
but
15. I'll give you
close.
15 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty freaking close. So Alexander Parkinson invented celluloid, and then in 72, some German dude accidentally synthesized chloride, so PVC. And then 1869, the first hard plastic was used in a substance. And then 1912, cellophane was like the true dawning of modern day plastics. Cool. So that's crazy to think about. So 100 years ago, like if you basically, let's say 125 years ago, had a plastic like Nalgene like see-through bottle, they would have been like, people would have been like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. How are you holding this water?
Like, why is that water just floating? That's pretty interesting. I was just thinking of that because someone was talking about plastic at work, and I was just so bored by what there was a client, and I was just like, I wonder how far back you'd have to go before someone would be blown away by the idea.
Yeah.
It's not very far.
No, it's not at all, which is crazy because plastic is everywhere now. Like microplastics and stuff. So that's crazy that it was only been around for like just over 100 years.
Like, so if you were my grandparents were like post-war babies. So my great-grandparents would have been alive before plastic.
That's crazy.
Weird.
That's so
That's
crazy.
so weird. Like, yeah, and then it's kind of one of those things. It's what I wonder with technology. Oh, perfect. I can actually go right into this one. So I heard someone talking. So one of my favorite podcasts is Lex Friedman. And what I really like about him is he's like super nerdy smart. He like IT tech guy. So it's always above my head, like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
But it's cool to be in that space listening to them. Like I get like,
Yeah.
right? So anyhow, he had some guy on talking about just quantum computing and the future. And he then went into a thing talking about our brains. And he said the tech is too fast for us to comprehend. And that really stuck with me because I think that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, well, like, when was the first iPhone released? 2011?
I mean, that was the first
we talked
iPad.
about
I think
this,
07 was the first iPhone. The iPad was 11.
Okay, that's
Regardless,
not even,
doesn't matter.
It's not even 20 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but like,
that's nuts.
yeah.
That's really nuts when you think about it. Like, it's crazy.
Well, and then like, think of what's going on right now, and I don't want to get into the politics of it, but just think of how polarizing Donald Trump is. It seems to me impossible that there can be like this complete polarization of like he's the devil or he's the best. That's really what it seems to be, right? And it kind of ties into like what this is where I feel like things are so fucked up. Like, how do you get to a point where there's just that like crazy of a contrast, unless maybe things are just out of control and our minds like can't handle what's going on.
Yeah.
And maybe not Donald Trump. Like, I shouldn't have used that, but like, let's step away from that. But like, just the world.
Yeah.
There's too much going on all the time, and it's too conflicting. And I think that's what the guy was referring to as tech. We can't comprehend it. Is like, our brains, we're just meant to read a newspaper.
Yeah.
The newspaper's supposed to tell you the truth. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't.
Yeah.
But I think like our bodies, everything about our biology is on a level of where you take in a little stuff and maybe you hear about what happened in Europe and you're worried, but you're not literally seeing like some crazy thing that happened in some small town England and then the war in Israel and Iran, or like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just too much going on.
Yeah, and I think it's always been like there's a ton of shit going on, but it's the access we have to it.
Yes.
through our hand. Like, who do you know that doesn't carry their phone on them at all times? And then that phone is connected to all four corners of the world. Like,
yeah. It's
and I think that's happened in the past 20 years. I also think that's why like and I don't want this to be like like in quotation marks offensive term, but I think that's why our generation is like soft. Like
Yeah.
we get like overwhelmed really easily. There's a lot of like stuff going on with mental health, and I don't think those things didn't exist before, but I think they're just so amplified now because it's really overwhelming to have access to everything all of the time.
Yeah, I agree. Like, in that, actually, I've never thought of that. Like, this is a whole, like, a newer thought to me. But that actually would make sense, just what you're saying, like soft. But the way you think of it is like, oh, they're so soft. Like, they got to be tougher. But it's like, no, maybe, like, we're beat up. Like, mentally.
Yeah.
Like, we're beat up, so we're soft.
Well, yeah,
or maybe, let's not call it soft. We're weak or something. But it's like, it's not weak on, like, the general, when you say that word, what you're picturing. Picture, like, someone that's, like, they've been nuked by something for a very long time. Because, that's a really
like,
good point.
It's mentally draining, right? To be, like, so involved with something online. If you're, like, super involved with something and all the information you're getting is online, like, you're talking to people and they're getting their information from online, then your brain is just, like, getting beat from all angles.
Always. Yeah, I mean, and that really, since I've heard about this tech thing, I think about it a lot, and I think it makes sense as to why I've been someone that's, like, traditionally hardcore gamer.
Yeah, even that. It's not just social media. It's stuff
everything.
Like that too.
It's everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like that. If you hear me say, like, it's everything.
Oh yeah, like I can't go to sleep without, like, having
computer.
Cartoons on.
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
It's
And
stupid.
like remember when I was saying a thing a few weeks ago? It's like we're a simulation in a simulation that's created another sim. Blah blah blah. But no, but like, but it's like that same thing of it's like what not. It's too complex.
Yes.
It's just too complex for us, right? And so, like, reading and meditating and writing poetry and just being in nature more, I think the reason that they've become so nice is because I'm not, like, I was, like, able to be like, yo, I need to slow down.
Yeah, it's grounding yourself.
And it's
That's
slow.
what it is.
And even if you're like, if you trace back through our podcast talking about time speeding up,
Yeah.
maybe it's not that time's speeding up. Maybe it's my brain's just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's weird, and I just can't recommend enough to people right now to go away from screens and try and read. Like, I just feel like it's not even about reading. It's like this space to slow down. I don't know. Maybe I'm just on screens, but I feel like most people are.
Okay, I wanna segue that into talking about books.
What
Can we
books?
do that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
That's a great segue.
so I've been reading before bed. Not every night, but, like,
Most nights.
I've made a good dent in 1984. Like, I'm on the second half of it now. And when I initially started reading it, I couldn't get into it, but now I am super into it. And it just got a little bit kinky in there.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Like, I wasn't expecting that from 1984.
Like, he's trying to, like, schmooze the girl and all that.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Interesting how it's like there's, like, all these social commentaries about the future, no one cares, and then there's sex, and you're like,
all right.
this is great.
You're like,
This is some
right.
immaculate literature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good book though. Hey, it's
I'm really enjoying it so far.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that I'm actually reading it because I've started it twice, and the first, like, if the first few chapters don't grip me, it's the same as a TV show. If the first episode doesn't grip me, then I am hesitant to keep watching it or reading it. And
it is a bit of a bland book to start when you're hearing about what's the name, the Ministry of Thought or something, or what are they called?
The Thought Police
Thought
and the
Police.
Spies, and
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
but once you
okay,
get
I
into
get
the
it's
actual
fucked up.
story,
Yeah.
you're like, oh damn. Wait till the end. The end is like a mic drop.
I'm
you're
excited.
Like,
I found that
here,
with
I'll tell
like,
you what happens now.
no,
I'm just
don't-
kidding.
don't tell me. But I found that with like quite a few of the like classic literature books that I read.
Yeah.
They really try and like set a scene for the longest time, and then they get to the story. And I think that's what I struggle with, is like set the scene a little bit, but let my
Let the story
imagination
go.
do the work, and the story will flow. But it was the same with Children of Men was the same. Like, I really struggled with that in the beginning, but the ending was incredible. The same with A Canticle for Leibowitz. Like, the beginning of that was so fucking boring, and I zoned out so
Just
hard.
hearing you say that word bored me.
Yeah, exactly. But now, so my new mission on books, because I've been on a classic literature hype for a while, and I feel like I've got through enough where I can now venture out a bit, and I'm not venturing super far. Like, I want to start reading all the Stephen King books.
Yes, I want to as well.
But what I'm doing, which I think is kind of a fun way of doing it for me. This is what I do for fun. I'm starting from the most recent and going backwards.
But that's cool.
So I'm listening to, at the moment, on audiobook, it's called something to do with the dark. Like, We Who Live in the Dark, or We Love the Dark, or some shit like that. But I'm really invested in the story. It's really crazy. And like, I'm not very far in, but it's basically like a guy who has a dream about a crime scene, and then he goes to see if it's real, finds a crime scene, calls the police, and now the police like are trying to pin it on him.
Oh, what?
Because they're like, oh, how would you know where the crime scene was? And he was like, I had a dream, and obviously they're not going to believe that.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's really crazy, and it's really, really interesting so far.
So what do you think Stephen King's net worth is?
Oh, a ton.
Because like,
a ton.
The thing about Stephen King is, it's not that he's not like J.K. Rowling, who like, J.K.'s Harry Potter, right?
Yes.
It's not like her, who she wrote like this one franchise. He's like a legitimate like,
oh, he's written
author.
so
Like
much.
like it's like you and I do our careers. His career is just
Yeah.
writing books.
Yes.
So would you
And,
take a
like,
guess at
really
his
good
net
books,
worth?
too. Oh, like, I want to say close to $1 billion.
This, according to the AI, said around $500 million, so 500 million,
Okay,
which is still insane.
Yeah.
His primary source of income is from the royalties and sales of his books, which have
Movies.
sold his books,
Oh,
which have
really?
sold over 350 million copies.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at that, but also, like, so many of his books, he sold the rights to movies, and not just like one movie, like multiple
And they're all
movies.
huge movies.
Yeah.
They're like there's
It-
It 1 and 2, and then they redid It 1 and 2. That alone is crazy.
And then The Shining.
Yeah. Oh, right.
One of the
yeah.
craziest, like Pet Sematary, they've redone. They've done 2 versions of. Like, Stephen King is an incredible author. And what made me want to start going through his stuff is, you know, I love my horrors.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the ultimate horror writer.
I actually
And-
have a list of horror books.
And my mom said the scariest book she's ever read was one of his books.
Which one was it?
I think it might have been The Skeleton Key, but I'm
Crew.
not entirely sure.
Okay, well so I have a huge book list of tons of different books.
Mm-hmm.
My horror section, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them, and they were all just like, I looked through a whole bunch of lists of the best
Yeah.
ones, and this is like accumulation of what I thought was the best /
Yeah.
and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are Stephen King's. Under the Dome, The Outsiders, Skeleton Watch, and The Watchers. Anyhow, yeah, Stephen, that's sweet. I'd actually be so down to, we should get Stephen King books then. Like, that'd be so fun to have that on our shelf.
I like, I'm down to get the books, but I do like listening to them as well. And I think it's a nice way. Why I'm doing it backwards is because it's like a nice way to get into it. Because this one that I'm reading now, listening to now, is
It
is
doesn't
his
offend
most,
me
is
if you
his,
say reading.
Yes, it does.
Well, no, I'm. If you,
Yes, it
yeah,
does.
well, it
Don't
does.
lie,
No, it
Derek.
does. It does. If you like if you ask me, I'll be like, no, you didn't. But you saying you don't have to keep correcting. You saying
Okay.
that just for the record.
Well,
I'm just saying.
The one that I'm listening to
Yeah.
now, it was written. I think he wrote it in 2022.
Okay.
So super recent, and it talks about stuff like the pandemic and stuff. So like it's getting into like a really good book, but it's also super current and relevant. So it kind of gets you into that, and I feel like as I go further back, I'll be able to like gradually like put myself there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well, okay, like, yeah. I feel like you'll get in. First off, it'll be like the one thing that I found between 1984, Animal Farm, and Brave New World. Brave New World. Okay, 1984 is basically happening.
Yeah.
Which is like but it's more like on a grand scale of the world. But like, let's say like politically, right?
Yeah.
Whereas A Brave New World is more like the future of science, where you can like it's still, I guess technically it's like all in like the political realm and stuff, but it's more about like gene editing and being able to make classes based on like we have the tech.
Okay.
But the thing with them is they're so old that like in 1984,
It is a bit outdated, yeah.
I wish 1984 was written modern, because they're talking about like Big Brother, but in those times Big Brother is like people watching you on screens.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was modern time, you'd be like the computer's literally always watching you
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah,
that, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So I can understand with Stephen King stuff. It'll be nice because if you read backwards, you get used to his writing in a modern time, and then as you
Yeah.
transition, it's like fun.
Yes, yeah,
yeah.
that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
I think because I've read, like, recently especially, I've just read so many old books that I've really enjoyed, but it's just hard to like connect to them initially because it's stuff you've never experienced. Like stuff like I read Maya Angelou's book. Can't remember the name of it now. But it was an incredible book, but it was about like living as a black person in the 1940s in the like Bible Belt of America, which I just have no connection to.
Yeah.
And it was an incredible book, but it's hard to like get into them initially. Whereas because I think this one's more current, I'm getting into it, and then I'm listening to the story, and I'm like, oh, this is actually really dope.
Yeah, I think I might have offended Connor saying this, but I didn't mean to. I didn't mean in an offensive way. I was talking to him about because I have Sapiens. I read that book a long time ago,
Sapiens.
right? But like when I mean a long time ago, I want to say like when it came out long ago, right? And I was saying to Connor, he was like, oh, I'd love to borrow that book. He's like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, I was just like, I got to warn you, though. It's a hard read. And he was like, oh, I've read Game of Thrones. And I think he took it as like I thought he couldn't read good or something like that. But I meant like it's like high literature in terms of like they use like Homo sapien versus Homo erectus versus Homo blah blah blah, and they use it like it's very like you've listened
Like,
to it.
it's like
it's super. It's
yeah.
not easy to read.
No, it's a lot of
Like
explanation.
like I feel like what it is there's like level of reading skill, and so like someone that's a really good reader, you can give them a book set in you're a black person picking cotton in the whatever times or whatever that book you were saying it was, and they're able to like read it and like snap to that. Whereas if you're not as good at reading, or like let's like again, not saying you can't read, it's like your ability to like get into put yourself into it.
Book,
so because like that's what I've kind of felt like too, is anything that's the more modern it is, the more easy it is for me just to read. And I'm not referring to like old English, I just mean like they're like, oh yeah, Tom was on Instagram and he did this, as
Yeah.
opposed to when they're talking about like sending it by airmail. It's just a bit harder for me to like be there.
Well, because you haven't experienced it, so like you're like, oh, I don't really get how that would feel. You know
But
what
I
mean?
think,
It's
exactly.
Like that,
But
yeah.
I think if you're a really good reader, you're able to get there more. And I think it just comes with time, though.
I do think as well it really depends on the book though.
True.
Because you can like you could be reading something like Game of Thrones, which is high fantasy like world, and you can like it's not about your imagination because you can imagine yourself being in that world that they're in, but with stuff like Sapiens, and I can say the same for Sigmund Freud, his interpretation of dreams that I listened to. It's very like explanatory and factual, and like this happened and this was this and this was that, and like it's just kind of hard to take that much information in at one time, I think is part of it too, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good. Yeah, because like you're trying to take in a story, but you're also trying to like build the world around the story.
And like Sapiens, like it's not even a story. It's just like saying what happened.
Yeah, well, that's why I think.
And that's what I think it is. There's not like a
Well, it's a
progression to it.
well-
It's just like this is.
well, it's
what
just it is just human history.
Yes.
But it's the closest thing you're gonna get to the facts of human history that is a story. Like
Yeah,
right,
that's
like
true,
but
yeah.
that's why it's so revered. No, is that the right word?
I don't know.
Whatever, I think it's revered. No, revered is feared. Like it's so like well known and liked is because
Yes.
of its like it's oh, if you read this book and you go into some hardcore like anthropologist and start talking to them, they'll probably be like, shut the fuck up, you don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking about, that's so base level.
Yeah.
But you'll actually be able to be in the room and follow
You
it.
gain a higher understanding for sure.
But I actually don't like Yuval Harari, and I'm happy Dax has read *Sapiens* because he agreed with me. He inserts a lot of things that I think are like tear down the foundations of what it is to be a human, but he does them like he's really smart. So he'll explain something like, for example, the reason that men and women are biologically together, or not biologically together, we're biologically together, have kids, but like the reason that the man stays with the woman is because pre all this, like if you were to have a kid and then I was like, all right, peace, go fend for yourself, but we were in the wild, you'd be fucked. Like every time you're like, I just literally birthed a baby and there's none of the stuff we have here. So you just birthed it. And then I just peace out. You're like, how are you going to protect yourself and the baby
you're gonna
and
die.
get food
Like,
and all that? So like that's
faux show
So
gonna
that's
die.
like why you have like the partnership is to like, right?
Like there's human biology to all of
So
it.
so that's just 100% fact and makes sense. But then he'll insert something like things about like what's the word for it? I don't like when people say things like it's a social construct. And that's what he'll say. He's like, this is a social construct we've invented. And I don't like when people say that because it tugs at the fabric of just everything like what we call humanity.
Yes.
Like what if you say that, oh, that's only exists because it's a social construct we've created, then you can literally pick the entire world apart on every single level.
Yes.
And he's so smart. So he tells this story in this like 600-page book that tells you all this stuff that's so interesting about why are men with women and all this, but then he inserts these little things that are his opinions.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you all of a sudden are like, oh yeah, this is all true, and you're like, yo, fuck that. Like that, like you're right, like because it is. I love that book. I actually love it, but I hate that dude.
Yeah. but also like it makes you think, right? And I think that's the point of reading, especially, is it like it's working your brain and it's making you think. And especially if you read stuff that isn't in like your, in parentheses, comfort zone, then you're educating yourself, you're learning stuff. And I think that's the difference between, like, instead of like scrolling through Instagram or watching YouTube or doing whatever, you just open up your book, is like you're learning stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's become pretty easy for me to read over, like gaming.
You've read so much
I've
in the
read a
past like 2
fuckload.
years.
Yeah, I'm burning. I'm trying to make a good bookshelf. I do think I have a good bookshelf, but
Yeah,
like,
well, don't do too much because we've only got so much space left on the bookshelf.
I guess I got to get a better job so we can afford a better house, so I can put a bigger
So I can
bookshelf.
have more books.
Imagine one day we're in the nicest place. They're like the most expensive place in Vancouver.
And
It's
we
like,
have a library.
what drove? And yeah, they're like, what drove you to get here? Is it all this stuff? And I just was like, I needed more room for my books.
Have you ever been in sorry, kind of going off topic here, but we vibe. Have you ever been in a house that has an actual library?
Yeah, well, yeah. I've been in some pretty rich people's houses. But the one that came to mind wasn't some like extraordinary rich person house. It was Chris Wigness. Growing up, my best friends growing up were, gosh, Chris Wigness and Matt Epic was my best friend moved away when I was young, and it was like him and Matt Epic, and me and Matt Epic were best friends along with this other guy, Chris Wigness, and then Zach came in like grade 2 or 3, so he became one of my best friends. But anyhow, main point, Chris Wigness, like one of my best friends growing up, we did all this stuff together. His dad and mom were like epic readers. So whenever you'd go in their house, and they had a nice house, but it wasn't like a mansion. They were renting a house.
Yeah.
So they weren't like these super rich people.
Yeah.
But they literally had, it was like basically this wall you're sitting on, but a bit more long, filled with every book.
No, I'm not, like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I've only ever been in one house that has like a library.
Oh, you mean like a real library?
Like yeah, I'm
No, I've
talking
never-
about
no.
like, okay, so there was this one in where I'm from, in south of England, when I used to go take my piano exams, super randomly. So in Somerset, like, you don't go to like a school or anything to take your piano exams. You get a examiner to come to somewhere, and they'll do a day of examining, and you'll have to all book your exams on that day for your music, right?
Okay.
So I did up to grade 6, 5 or 6 in piano, like classical piano. So anytime
Oh, so you were pretty high then.
yeah, like
How many levels are
technically
there? There's
8.
like, oh, what?
So yeah,
I don't
like
need piano anymore.
because where am I gonna get a piano?
I thought you have a piano.
I have a keyboard.
Isn't that the same thing?
No.
I know. Okay,
not
I know.
even-
I know
no.
a piano's like got better, but like you can still keys it out, can't you?
Dude, if you put that keyboard in front of me, and I got some music up, I could play pretty decently, like really decently.
I think
actually.
I know what we're doing on Friday. Let's do that. You can.
Sure.
Me and Juliet will dance.
Sure, we can do that.
Sweet.
But anyway, so I used to go take my piano exams, and it was at this woman's house, and she wasn't like crazy rich, but she was like Somerset rich, which means like you probably like had some farming land and like got wealthy.
Was she richer than us?
Way richer.
Holy shit! Holy shit! She was rich.
But so her house was like an old manor house in England. So it was like a listed building. It was beautiful house. and you had to go in through the back entrance, and you went into like a mud room, and then you went through, and the kitchen was one way, and then she'd always be like, oh, you can come wait in here, wait in the library. And I'm not kidding, you know in Beauty and the Beast when she's like on that ladder in the library?
Yes.
Okay, well, they had like one of those bookshelf ladders.
Like, that like slides.
Yes,
Whoa,
that kind of library.
what?
And like,
what kind of books could possibly
it wasn't
be in
a
there?
huge room. It was probably like as big as our living space, but wall to wall, every single wall was just bookshelves, and they were filled.
Like, are we talking like, do they have just like 3,000 encyclopedias, or like what is a bookshelf?
They probably had They had like just wall to wall books.
Because this is what I think's weird is, okay, like what I want my bookshelf or our bookshelf to be, but like it'll be the same thing with you there, is like I want the books that are read there, things that we want to read. I don't want it to be like you go there and you're like, oh wow, you have all 18 thesauruses from Britannia. Like I'd be like, oh, I've never, like everything that you can see there, I want people to be like, is this good? And I can be like,
yeah, I mean,
get out of my house.
This is also like back in the day where the internet wasn't a big thing. So if they were rich and intelligent, then they wanted to look something up. They weren't Googling it. They were going. Okay,
I just thought of this. So you and me, we're sitting here and we're in a discussion. We're in a heated argument. Fists are flying.
Are we? I was like, are we?
Theoretical. Fists are flying.
Okay.
You're like, no, it's pronounced apple or potato, and I'm like, no, boom, smack you back, potato, and then you and then you kick me in the nuts, and I'm like, oh, and you're like, get the thesaurus out. Is that what would have happened? Like,
I think so, yeah, something like that.
Because like I'm just picturing me, like you and me are in an argument, or not an argument, like we're just a debate or whatever, and we're disagreeing, and and you're like, no, it's this, and sometimes I'm like, we'll look it up, and then I go, where's my phone? And then I'm like, oh, it's over there, and I can see it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going over there. So like, there's no way that you and me are getting a thesaurus.
People used to do that. They used to fucking flick through
people had nothing to do. I'm sorry. Like I'm like this. You and me are doing that. And we're like, oh, my phone's there. Let's just watch some TV. Fuck that.
Anyway, all I'm saying is that's a really fucking crazy experience to be in a library like that.
That's super crazy. That's like, does that even exist anymore?
And that was just the room. The room was just the library, and then you walked out into the music room, which was where they had all their instruments. Sorry,
I'm not gonna lie. I'll announce it here 52 minutes in. I'm actually trying to write some comedy. I am, and was that funny? That's a bit.
Okay.
Like, you can write a bit off of how people used to use thesauruses to look up words. Meanwhile, you and I aren't even willing to look at our phone in our heads. That's a bit. Yeah, that's crazy. That's super cool. When part of the reason I was down to get a bookshelf was solely because I wanted to fill it with books.
Yeah.
And yeah, my only thing that I'm worried about with having a bookshelf that's like with a ton of books is I feel like I'll get obsessive over it, and then I won't even enjoy reading. I'll just be like,
more books.
I finished a book, and you're like, you didn't even open it, and I'll be like, I did.
You and me are very different though, because once I've read a book, I will like quite happily, like we have a community like bookshelf at my work, right? And I'll quite happily take a book that I've just finished and like put it in the community bookshelf and take another book, because I don't need all the books that I've had to be like on a shelf, because likelihood is I'm not gonna read it again.
Yeah, well,
so I'm like, why do I need to keep all these books?
Yeah, see, and that for me is a big part of it.
You're just a book hoarder.
Well, no, like I've lent out books.
Lent out is not the same.
What do you mean?
Lent out is not the same.
Well, no, a book hoarder wouldn't give books like all lend.
Yeah, but you want those books back.
Yeah.
to put on your shelf and never read again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
No, but like that's why I'm calling you a book hoarder.
Okay, well, sure. To me, a book hoarder would be like, don't read my books. They're like, you're like, Derek, I live with you. I'm like, don't read my books. These books are my books.
Look at my books.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say let's segue off of books, and onto. Okay, so. There's for people that I don't know, one thing that I've realized with podcasts, and I this is independent to us doing a podcast, is I think podcasting for me is kind of like what music is for most people, because I don't sit there and just constantly listen to every single word that's said.
Yeah.
But I do like having like something in my ear, and for me, podcasting is one that I just enjoy it. Like that's. Like it's people talking and it's about things and I'm like thinking while it's going on, right? So the biggest podcast in the world right now is called the Telepathy Tapes, and I'm only on the 3rd of 10. Now, have I told you much about this?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll run it over for everyone else.
You said it. You talked about it last week.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyhow, I've been trying to do telepathy with Nuo since, and it's like it's not working. It's not working at all, because because there's been so many times like I've stared at her and I've been like genuinely like, okay, put out the intention, like this is what it is, right? Because it's not, because whatever telepathy is, just for anyone that's like, what the fuck, it's like it's not like communication like we know it, right? But like there's been a lot of studies that have come out with all these telepathy tapes and all that stuff, that like there's people that have studied why does your dog know you're coming home 2 blocks away or whatever. So there's like something to it all.
Yeah.
And so what I think you have to do in my head is like you have to put your intention out there. So you have to like, if I want Nuo to like chill out, I have to in my head be like calm and like, chill out. I have to think of that, but I have to be calm.
Yeah. You can't get mad at her.
And you have to just like
chill out.
Put it out there, but it makes no sense to me. Like that's the thing, is it's not this thing of like, oh, I'm like, this is what I have to do, but it makes no sense. So that's why I was like looking at you and being like, I'm like giving her the eyes and the eyebrows. I'm like, come on, you got this.
I think though, on a personal level, like it's the same as meditation, right? You can't want to do that. You can't try to communicate telepathically. Like if it's gonna happen, it just happens. Like, I don't think you being like, I'm gonna do this will make you do it. I think you just have to like relax and be in tune with.
Well, okay, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And this is the problem with all of this. And I think it comes back, and it's going to sound so dumb and hippy-dippy, and I hate saying this, but you have to live in the moment. And that's like what you're referring to is like, so like if you can just like calm your mind, be there, and just do it, that's what you need to do, which is like, in air quotes, living in the moment. Like that's so dumb, cliche thing to say, but like that thought of like, if you genuinely like are there, then it will work.
Yeah.
But the problem with all of that is like the way we're like built to think and perceive and do everything is like not that, right?
Yes.
So it's so hard. And I agree with you, but it's so hard to actually like so science, there is scientific proof. I think it's called the slit experiment. For those that don't know, go look up the slit experiment. I can't explain it, but it's basically like if you shine a light through these things, it's like something to do with if light is a wave or a particle or something, and it's like if you observe it, it's different than if you're not observing it, and it's all in that same vein. Right?
It's so true. It's the same as it's like seeing things out of the corner of your eye, and if you try and focus on them, like you can't, but then you'll look back and it's in the corner of your eye. Does that make sense?
That's not what I was referring to. No,
but it's the same concept.
No. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're talking about like if you see something that you think's there, but like you, and then you look and it's not there.
Yeah. Not really.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know.
Like, okay, so, for example, sometimes if you can see like an eyelash in the corner of your eye and then you try and look at it and you can't look at it, right?
Like you can't see it. You can look up there, but you can't see. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you see an eyelash right in the corner of your eye. You can see it's there like dangling down.
Right.
And then you try and look at it and it just disappears.
Okay. I've never had that.
Okay, well, grow your eyelashes.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. I don't understand.
No, it's just the same kind of concept. Like, it's like if you want to look at it, you can. Do you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but that's not what I'm saying.
Isn't it?
No. The double slit experiment, I'm going to show you after. It'll make more sense. But basically, like, everything in our perceivable universe, there's this weird thing of, like, if we're not looking at it, the particles act differently than if we are looking at them. And me saying it doesn't make sense.
Well, maybe
but,
my eyelash acts differently if I can't see it.
I mean, it does. That's the thing, is if you're not...
Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows
exactly.
If it does?
So, but God damn it, I forgot what I was trying to say.
Okay.
What was I trying to say here? What were we just talking about with that?
Eyelashes.
No, we weren't talking about eyelashes.
We were.
Oh yeah. Okay, this is what it was. Bringing back to telepathy and meditation, all this stuff. Okay? Anything to do with meditation. So they've done all these studies on things, and if you don't believe in something, it won't happen. Period.
Manifestation, baby.
No. But if you want it to happen and you believe in it, it also won't happen.
So you're fucked either way.
Yeah, I guess we are fucked.
So dumb.
Such a turd. Okay. That was a good one. That was a little inside one for off the records there. Okay, this is... Do you want to go more in the, like, a Derek going on a tangent, or do you want to, or do you want to go, because this one's fun. The tangent one's a fun one. The other one's like a more like on the same lines of like, what is time? Okay.
I don't want to do either of those things.
Okay, well, what do you want to do then? Because I think the one's really good.
No,
do you have anything? No? Okay, then we're going to do this one. Okay, we're doing this one, and I don't care what you say.
We're going on a tangent?
Yeah, we're going on a tangent. Okay.
You're going on a tangent.
Poke bowls.
No. The Poke Bowl, like, I don't think it was actually the Poke Bowl.
It wasn't the
that
Poke
made me
Bowl.
Sick, but my association with that now, like, you know how it is, like...
I know.
And it was a really good Poke Bowl as well, so I can't even be mad at the Poke Bowl, but I had a Poke Bowl on Friday, and then afterwards I just felt so shitty and gross, and like I wanted to throw up, and it was icky, but also in the morning I drank milk that was a bit gone off.
I didn't know you drank milk. I thought it was you had a little cream that was off.
No, so the milk...
It was that for sure.
The milk was... No, the milk was only 2 days past the sell-by date, and I smelled it, and it didn't smell off.
That's a good tell.
Yeah, and my...
was it chunky?
No,
that's also a
not
good
at
tell.
all. So my uncle was a doctor, and he didn't believe in sell-by dates. He would literally, like, spoon milk out of the carton and eat it. Well, I don't know if that's true. I might have made that up. But he didn't believe in sell by days, right? So I got the milk out. I smelled it. It smelled good. I made a coffee. The coffee tasted good. But then all of a sudden, like, the coffee got a bit, like, bitty. Like, there was bits in it. Like, pulpy. And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to drink the rest of that. But then I also had a poke bowl for lunch. And I can get really, like, put off. Like, I love raw fish, but it just takes one time to really put me off.
Well, I do agree with that, but
And the fish didn't taste bad. The fish tasted really good, but after my lunch break, I just started feeling like awful, like nauseous, like
I
my
just
stomach
feel
was
like
cramping
I get it. I get it. Like I can
The
understand
association,
the
yeah.
association, but I just feel like you should try and associate it with the milk just solely out of how good poke is. Like not even out of what
Yeah.
it was. Just be like, no, it was the milk. It was the goddamn milk. God damn it. But I do get what you're saying. But in my opinion, like from what your story, it makes more sense what the milk is.
Yeah.
But I don't think it matters really. It's
You
what you're.
saw me like that day. I
Yeah,
was like,
you.
I was unwell.
I did
was
see
not
you were
feeling good
unwell
at all.
Okay, but my thing wasn't just bringing up that you were ill from poke bowl.
Okay.
I actually had a tangent.
Okay, go on your tangent.
So, and
babe.
this
You
is
do you.
poke bowls look great, but don't work. And this isn't just. It's anytime you get takeout bowls, which poke bowl happens to even if you get in a restaurant, they do this.
Yeah.
So they give you like I get poke. It's either Chipotle or poke anytime I work a 12-hour day because on my break my break before, so I do 10 massages and 9 massages. So it's like let's just say 10 for the argument of like piecing it out. So you do 5 and 5. It's number 4 is the best time to go get lunch because on Monday and Thursday when I do those, Rooma is my 5th. So I can literally, like, if I show up 5 minutes late for Rooma, I never stiff anyone. So I always make sure they get their hour, even if it is someone that always comes in. But, like, if I show up 5 minutes late for Rooma and then give her extra 5 minutes, I never feel bad. As opposed to,
Yeah.
like, if you're someone I've never met, I'm going to
Yes,
make sure, right?
yeah.
So it's always, thankfully, Rooma. So I go and I get my poke bowl or Chipotle. They're just the two things that are right there around that
Yeah.
time. Good, solid. It's under $20. Poke bowl is $18. Chipotle is $20, and it fills me up, so I can't
Yeah.
complain. But anyhow, I've been doing poke lately, and I'm just gonna paint the picture. You go there. Do you want your bowl? Yeah. What size, what proteins, you say that, and then they're like, what toppings do you want? And they usually say you can have like between 7 and 10. So you're like, I'll have some lettuce, some corn, green onion.
Who puts fucking lettuce on a poke bowl?
Me and a lot of people, I think. So
Really?
good. Oh yeah, hell yeah. What kind of poke bowls? Okay, just let me set the scene a bit more. And then you put like, so you put your lettuce. I always do double corn wherever I go because I love corn, but you put some corn, you put some green pepper or onion,
yeah.
a green onion, some whatever, I don't know, just like poke stuff, right? But what they do is they don't put it on top of it everywhere. They put like a scoop in each corner. So then when I go and try and eat my poke bowl and I look at it, I'm like, wow, this is basically art. Like it looks really good.
Yeah.
But then I have to mix it myself to eat it.
Oh,
But
the struggle.
No, but it's not the struggle. It's not the struggle. It's not the struggle like, oh, my life's so hard. Or I paid for this. Why is it not mixed? It's like I have a pair of chopsticks because I always eat with the preferred ethnicities.
Hands.
I'll eat with
Hand
hands.
tools.
If you want me to eat with hands, I'll eat with hands. If you give me a fork, like if that's
Yes,
what
yeah, no.
right. So I always eat poke with chopsticks, and I do like chopsticks, and so like I have to mix it with the chopsticks. And then you don't get, the sauce doesn't mix very well when you're using chopsticks. And you can't mix all the ingredients together perfectly or even close to perfect because they're like, it's like the jalapenos in one corner and the cabbage is the opposite corner. So how with chopsticks in this little shitty to-go bowl am I going to mix all that together and not make a mess? So it's this thing of like, I feel like when I eat poke, I eat like some cabbage and some corn with, they're always with.
Here's the thing, babe. Just use a fork. Just use a fucking fork.
What is this, Canada?
I agree 100% with what you're saying, but just use a fork. Like you didn't like, I think in general, like, eating something with rice with chopsticks is super hard. Unless it's sushi rice. Like, it's just not worth trying to do.
I don't know. To be honest with you, things I would eat, I prefer chopsticks. For
You're white, Derek. Just accept the fork.
Arigato. Saishia saide.
Is that actual words?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Arigato.
I know what arigato means.
Saishi saide. It's like have a good day or something like that. Saishi saide. Shashi saide.
Okay,
And
I'm
then
gonna use that now.
chariga. Go fuck your mom. Chariga.
It's not go fuck
Yeah,
your
it's
mom.
Chinese for
No, I don't believe you.
Gabe taught us that. It was
I don't
like one of the.
believe you.
Let's ask Gabe. Gabe, call us. So I need a few things from the fans. It'd really help us if you give us a 5-star rating.
All 12 of you.
Straight up, I'm dead serious. If we want to get to 14, we need the 5-star ratings. So please rate and comment, and I'm gonna start adding polls.
Like and subscribe.
No, you don't have.
Like and
You don't have to
subscribe.
like. There's no like, or I'd
Like and
ask.
subscribe, everybody.
Just subscribe and
Everybody,
comment
like and subscribe.
and like the polls.
If you're not already, you see that button in the corner? Yeah, that's the subscribe button.
You can
Subscribe
tell
to
Neve
us.
obviously isn't the one in control of the channel because she knows she's like, oh, there's no like button. But subscribe.
I was taking the piss, babe.
Do you want to do an ad read or should I do an ad read?
An ad?
Read, like for our sponsors. The unofficial ones we have.
I thought we had our unofficial sponsors.
Wait.
What's Mackenzie Room?
Well, no. We were plugging Mackenzie Room.
Oh, I don't know the difference between a plug
Okay,
and
a plug is just like I'd be like, hey, check out Neve Simmons. She's cool at www.neve.com.
Well, duh.
That's a plug, right? So you're like,
Yeah.
do that. Whereas a sponsor is like a paid advertisement.
Yeah, but we don't get paid.
That's why they're unofficial. Okay, fine, Neve. Then I'll do the ad read for our unofficial sponsor of the week. The Fox and the Grapes. They've won the award for gold medal, silver medal, and silver medal in the Riverland Wine Show.
Not a gold, though.
1 gold New World Wine Awards from 2023. Okay, so the Fox and the Grape, the unofficial sponsor of this week. How would I rate their wine? It'd be better if they paid me. All right, and back to the show. Hey, thanks for that, the Fox and the Grape. That was it. Thanks for your money.
That was
a good ad
That was
read.
not even slightly good.
That was a great ad read.
That was not even slightly good.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, the Fox and the Grape, the 2023 silver medalist. Just like our podcast can't come in first, always second.
Not even secondary. We're so far down the list.
Well,
If there were 100 spots, we'd be like maybe 98th.
if you could pick anyone to be on our podcast as a guest, who would it be?
Juliet.
We can make that one happen. Mine's impossible.
What was yours?
Kobe Bryant. He's dead.
He did.
He did.
So how far in are we right now?
Why?
How much have we talked? 'Cause I was also about to go on a tangent.
Well, we're an hour and 13 in.
Oh, okay, that's not so bad. Okay.
Are you in a tangent? Or
Do you want me to tangent?
Wait, whoa. Is this like an hour 15 in tangent, or is this like you should be 3
Oh
hours?
no, this is probably like maybe 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Probably not even, because it's actually really simple.
Wait, sorry, before you start your tangent, just to know, if whatever we say, I feel like the deeper the podcast goes, the more likely it's to be like, oh no, they're going off now.
That's because that's the more
More
wide.
wide, yeah.
Okay, do you want to hear my tangent?
Yes, please.
Do people like not watch movies anymore? Because here's the thing, I like quote movies a fair bit. And I found more and more that nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about.
Okay, wait.
And the reason that came from that is because you said Kobe Bryant, and I was going to be like, he's dead. But then I knew you wouldn't get what I was talking about, right? Because that's like a quote from a movie.
Well, I wouldn't have known the movie, but I've heard that he's dead before.
So it's from 22 Jump Street. And fucking Jonah
Hill.
Jonah Hill, he's doing a drama class, and he does slam poetry, and then he's like, Cynthia, she died for our Cynthias. And it's hilarious, like, it's so funny, but I quote that quite a lot because I think it's really funny, but then when I quote it, I realize the person I'm talking to has no idea what I'm talking about, and I just seem really strange.
Well, I have two variations of my answer to that. One, I don't think people watch movies as much anymore, no.
Yeah.
But I do think they do literally because there's like Netflix has so much.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're more likely to people watch TV series over movies.
Yeah.
So on that sense, one, but also I do think that there's such an oversaturation of content to view that it's not that people don't watch. It's I just don't think they like pick up on as much as they used to.
And I think I'm just like I'm super into movies as well, so I remember those stupid little bits. And like I say this every morning to my supply chain manager that I work with, and I and I said it once and it's just kind of stuck, but I say, "Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello." And do you know what that's from?
Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello. Is that from Swiss Family Robinsons?
No.
Or Lost in Space?
No.
Oh.
It's from Tim Burton's Willy Wonka, with the one with Johnny Depp where he looks like really fucking weird, and that's the first thing he says when they walk into the chocolate factory. And it's just like really weird and awkward and creepy.
Yeah, I mean.
But I say that every morning to the same coworker. And
what do they say?
He has no idea what I'm talking about.
That's the best.
But that's the funniest thing. So like, and I'm in this like upstairs office, and I hear him coming up the stairs. Because I can see people when they come in, and then I know it's him. So like he's coming up the stairs, and I just say, "Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello." And he's just like, "What the fuck?"
I wish.
And I'm like, no, it's funny. It's from a movie. And he's like, "Okay."
I wish. Sometimes I just wish I could be in the brains of the people when I do stuff to them. Like I wish you could hear this dude's
stupid. And his internal monologue is like, "Who's this?" And then I had a meeting today. We had like a supply chain meeting. And like instinctually, just like as I walked into the meeting, I was like, "Good morning," and I said it in that same tone, and he was like, "Are you just gonna say that every morning?" And I'm like, "It's from a movie, like it's funny," and none of them have seen it, so it's just like, yeah, I just look really weird now.
I guess this is getting old. Is you don't realize you're older until you say quotes from movies, and they're like, "Who the fuck are you?"
And that's the thing. It's like, I've never been the person where I'm like. We're all similar age on our team that work together.
That's cool.
Which is good, but I think we're just like into different things.
That's also cool.
Which is awesome, yeah, and they're really great people, and I love them, and I really enjoy working with them. They're super easy to work with, and it's awesome. But some things, like. Because I'm the same person, whether I'm I don't believe in being, like, professional in terms of I am who I am, whether I'm at work with my friends at home. So I'll do weird stuff, and you just kind of got to accept that.
I think you're just weird.
Yeah.
It's okay, you're with me, it's fine.
I was like, yeah.
You're fine.
Maybe a little bit. But it's weird. It's weird how you get that comment more as you age, because you're just like yourself around your peers, and then you go into a situation where like people are younger, people are older, but it's not the same generational thing. So for my generation, where I grew up and where I was, you could just like, you all watch the same movies and you all quote them and it's chill, but then you go and you take that same attitude into like your workplace and people are just on wildly different levels.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I always laugh at like my clients that come in that are young kids, not even like 25, 26, 23. Like we're talking like 16-year-old, 15-year-olds. They're usually like athletes and stuff. Or like I have this one kid, I've seen for ages, he's 13, and it's just like radically different worlds.
Yeah.
And it's not on like the obvious thing, like I'm 35, he's 13. Like obviously it's gonna be different.
Yeah.
But it's like profoundly different. Yeah. It must be weird now that just saying that. It must be weird being a teacher like Zach, like where you're like, I think it's crazy, and I see some kid once every 2 months for an hour. Zach's literal life is always in that, and it changes. Yeah, that's actually a weird thing. You're like on the like, you're what's up and hip with the kids, but it changes so radically from
time to time, like so quickly. I think it's gonna be really like, I think it's probably gonna suck, but also I think it's gonna be really interesting as Juliet gets older and like she becomes like involved with her peers so much and like current stuff is going on. It's just going to be so alien to us.
Yeah, well
that's what I think is really crazy. Like I think it's going to be super cool, but I think like if she's anything like I was when I was a teenager, she's going to be a fucking handful.
Yeah, I think she's going to be a whole handful. Yeah, some
like maybe 5 handfuls.
The one thing that I'm nervous about but looking forward to is I think it's gonna be hilarious when we have to show up to like all of her like events, like whether she's like in the spelling bee or soccer or
like a dance
or whatever it is. I just think it's gonna be hilarious. The parents like there's your kid, because Juliet can do whatever the hell she wants and I'll just be happy watching her do it, but like the dynamic of parents. And I just know for a fact I'm going to be the parent for sure, that there's going to be so many people.
I don't think other parents are going to like me. But also we don't give enough credit, because parents are now going to be in our generation. So they might get it a bit more.
I mean, I feel like you and me, to be honest, are goons.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Is like, even if like it's not a thing of like, goons. I'm not worried about like you and me going to the soccer game and they're like, yo, Neve and Derek are fucked up. But then like somehow over a weekend, like what if we have to go to like, hey guys, let's go to like the swim meet, and we go to Victoria, and then there's something where somehow we end up out and it's like a parents' night out, and I'm like, well, me and Neve are gonna light it up. But there'll be 1 or 2 other people that will, but most of the people will be like, we're adults here, and I'll be like, we're adults, get fucked up.
but at the same time, like, I think our parents did do that. We just weren't aware of it at the time.
Oh no, I know my parents did.
Like I for sure know my parents had a good time.
My mom told me that she would breastfeed in the bathroom and then put us behind couches to sleep while they'd party.
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the craziest things that traumatized me as a kid was we were in someone's house at this party and they had a python and it was in the basement. What? Yeah, and it got out, and not got out, it was out in the basement, right? And like picture like a like stairwell goes down, and then it has like a little landing and then like 3 more steps down to like, so it goes straight down, turns right, and it's like a landing there. The python was there and I was at the top of the stairs. And some of the parents that were there were trying to push me down the stairs. They were like, no, go see it. Not like push me, but they were like, behind me. They're like, no, go see it. It's all right. It's fine. And I was like, no. ow. And then eventually my parents came and like saved me, but my dad, I'm pretty sure.
How old are you?
I was no older than 4 or 5. Yeah, no, I actually like it actually was a trauma for me.
Is that why you're scared of snakes now?
Whoa, well, I'm not afraid of snakes. I don't like snakes, but I've held your dad's snake and I was fine. I've picked up snakes. Like, I have no irrational fear of snakes, but I definitely was traumatized as a kid by a python. Like, I have, yeah, you know what?
I'm
Okay.
sorry, I just can't get over you said I held your dad's snake. I'm sorry. That's so fucking funny.
That's fucked up. You're fucked up. Sim,
You're the one that said that on live fucking podcast.
your dad has a milk snake named, what's his name, Bridget?
Maureen.
Maureen. Oh, so you acknowledge it's a snake.
No, we've had snakes.
Is that what he
we've
calls
had
his
snakes
penis?
Always. No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. He doesn't call his penis Maureen, does he?
Why are you asking me, bro? I don't fucking know.
What's his snake's name?
Anyway.
What's his snake's name?
What I was saying is it's funny because I never knew that story, but now that makes sense why you don't like snakes.
Yeah, but I'm not afraid
I know,
of
no,
snakes.
but I know, like, irrelevant whether you're afraid or not. Like, I get it.
Yeah, I
I
mean-
get it. That's a pretty hectic thing to happen.
Yeah, like I actually like vividly remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember much as a
I
kid.
know, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you described that in really good detail, and I was like, oh, this is something that's really stuck with you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's fucking weird. It's just, it was weird. It was a weird thing. Times were different.
Times were different.
And that's
Pythons were Roman basements.
and that's why I don't vote.
To be fair, that's a really fucking weird situation, just in general. Like,
Yeah. I also
who has a python just roaming around their basement?
it wasn't. Yeah, that's actually fair. It wasn't
Yeah,
roaming,
like, that's kind of a strange thing in general. And then for all these people to be like, go see the python, 4-year-old Derek. Like,
all I'm thinking now,
that's pretty crazy.
yeah, I mean, I wonder how many people were doing drugs because you don't even perceive. Well, because like when you're a kid, you don't perceive any of that.
No, that's so
and then
true.
and then as you get a bit older, you're like, oh, everyone was drinking.
Yeah.
But like drinking's one thing, and everyone drinks.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that it couldn't have just been that, but like people do drugs all the time too. So it's like
Yeah.
you just don't know. Anyhow, I don't. It's not a woes me. That doesn't haunt me. It's just a memory I remember.
No,
It's not like,
it seems
no,
like
it's not. It's every night
this
before
is-
bed, you're like, no pythons are gonna get you.
This is turned into PanCake Friday therapy
Therapy
session.
sessions.
Derek's like, there's one time.
Therapy pancake therapy.
We're changing the name.
Okay.
That just came out of nowhere.
So as I was saying, the poke bowls are.
Is that where we ended up?
That's where we
Poke's
started.
to Python bowls. Wait.
Okay, so we're on. First off, this is our
First off,
9 weeks since we last missed a pod.
is it?
So
Next week is our
next
streak.
week is the streak,
Holy.
or ties the streak.
Oh, do you know what's crazy?
What?
So we got next week, and then do you know what happens the week after?
You leave,
I'm in Arizona.
but you leave on Friday, Thursday. Mm-hmm. We'll have to do it on a Wednesday to keep the streak.
Have to do the pancake on a Wednesday.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll keep the streak alive.
Okay,
I
well,
didn't
we
wait.
have
So
to
you
do
go
that.
on a Thursday?
Yeah, the 20th.
So how are we gonna make that work?
What do you mean?
We'll talk about that off air. And no one wants to hear this story.
Maybe I do go on the Friday. No, I go on the Thursday.
Okay, we'll talk about it off air
Okay.
because we have to actually figure that out. Anyhow, I think we should do person of the week and all that.
So,
Yours was Rachel,
yeah.
and mine was Peter.
What's the person? Stop. This is how parentified I am now.
Okay.
When you say person of the week, I think of number of the week from Sesame Street and that song.
Oh my God.
What's the number? Stomp, stomp.
What's the number?
Stomp, stomp. What is the number?
You know what
The
I always
number.
you know what I always do when I watch that is I try and pick out, I'm like, where is this the original piece? And it's always the number. So they'll be like, what is the number? Duh, duh. What is the number? Duh, duh. That's just the same recording over and over.
Every time. Yeah.
But then when they go, the number
No.
is 1. I'm like,
No, I'll
that's
tell
original.
you what it is. I'll tell you exactly what it is. So the Count on Sesame Street he does a rhyme every time. So he'll be like, I can't think of anything right now, but he'll be like,
What rhymes with hooker? 1.
no, he'll be like, blah, 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 blah. I have got a bun. The number of the week is 1.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they change like the rhyme and the number every time, but the rest of it is the same every single time. So that's when you're like the person of the week. I'm like, the number of the week.
Okay, Sesame Street. I don't know if I trust it. Not for Julia to watch. It's fine. I just don't know if I trust it.
What, like Elmo personally, or?
Well, okay, like this actually will resonate nicely with our audience.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Sesame Street is Big Bird.
Yeah.
Like Big
Me
Bird
too.
was Sesame Street, and Elmo was there. Oscar the Grouch was there. Like all the minus the girl, that's like the Elmo Abby. She's newer. But
Rosita. She's newer.
Who's Rosita?
The blue monster.
Yeah, okay, Rosita, which is like she's
Hispanic monster.
Yeah, and she's like, I'd say the opposite of, is it Cookie Monster or Grover? Like she's like basically like the female equivalent of one of them. And then there's like Big Bird's barely there.
Yeah, he's not there a lot.
At all.
It's the Elmo show.
It's the Elmo show. And that's so crazy to me because it was Sesame Street was Big Bird as Snuffleupagus, like with his big nose. And he was an elephant, but he wasn't. I think he was a vacuum with hair. But regardless, it's just so weird to see where Sesame Street's at. And I don't think it's bad or anything. It's just so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's very Elmo-centric.
Very. And I also think that whoever put Elmo, like the Tickle Me Elmo, because I have a feeling Tickle Me Elmo.
It was a demon toy.
But I think Tickle Me Elmo is probably, if you look, the pivot from Big Bird to Elmo. Mm-hmm. Because that was huge. And whoever made that, fuck you. Fuck you. That's fucked up. Whoever would make that toy, think of what that is. It's just a thing that nonstop goes, ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
And if it runs out of batteries, your kid doesn't care. They just go, Elmo. Elmo. And you're
Juliet
like,
does that anyway.
yeah, imagine if we had, I
refuse to buy her an Elmo toy because they're so fucking annoying.
Well, I want to get her one, but I want to get a stuffy.
A stuffy.
Just a stuffy, not
yeah,
any.
Have a stuffy.
It can't have anything other than as a stuffy, or else it'll be just crazy.
Yeah.
And even
I'll
with
probably like. Do you know what? I don't think that Elmo Tickle Me Elmo was actually a demon toy. I think it just drove people to insanity.
That's fair to say.
I think that's why everyone thought it was
say.
a demon toy. It was like an epidemic.
Yeah, like they
People, parents going insane from Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah, like they became mentally ill from a kid's toy, and then they were like, "No, it's the toy. It's a demon." And it's
they go into work. They're like, "Ha ha ha, tickle me," and they're like, "Dude, you need to go for fucking psychiatric counseling." Right now.
You're like, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, the person of the day.
Week. Here's your person of the week.
Stomp. Who's my person of the week?
Would you like me to go first? I think we're gonna expand person of the week. Just
actually want to go first.
Okay. I'd love for you to go first.
My person of the week, and because the week includes Friday, I'm going to say my person of the week is actually Zach.
Oh, okay.
Because it was just really nice to see him, and it was a really nice
every time
setting, and we just there was good chat all around. Like, it was just really good to see him.
Absolutely.
And I had actually really missed him. It's been what, a year since I've seen Zach.
Yeah, probably.
I've seen him since Calgary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was just really nice, and to be around all of the pals.
Yeah.
It was a really nice time.
Shout out to
So,
Zach, a friend of the
Zach.
pod. We love you, Zach.
I really, really missed you.
Yeah, I mean, Zach's one of my best friends and oldest friends. So, yeah, I'll always... I acknowledge you.
I acknowledge Zach.
Zach, we're pointing to the ceiling. Just in case you didn't know what that means. When we acknowledge, we point to the ceiling. Yeah, okay, well... I guess I can't reuse that one. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't going to imagine.
Nope.
What are the odds? My person of the week is my left foot for scoring that goal. No.
Doesn't count. Doesn't count.
Kidding,
Bin it
just
off.
kidding.
Dead it.
Who is my person of the week? Let me think. Okay, this is what I was going to say as I think of my person for the week. I think we should expand person of the week because it is tough to keep making it people we know.
Oh, is it?
No.
Oh,
Well,
is
not
it,
for me.
Derek?
No, I can actually keep going, but for you, let's
For me,
expand.
it's hard.
Let's expand person of the week to like it doesn't have. It's just like the person of the week. So like I don't know if your person of the week is, Gandhi. You can do Gandhi. But it has to be legit. You can't say Gandhi to say Gandhi. You have to be like, Gandhi, why?
I tried to do that before. I said
I know,
Miss
but-
Rachel is my person of the week. Yeah,
Wait, we can do that next week. That's where we're expanding it. It was.
No, Juliet likes Elmo now, not Miss Rachel, so I can't do Miss Rachel now. But I could have done her at the time. If
Do
you
you
let
think?
me.
Okay, do you think Juliet likes Miss Rachel or Elmo more, or is it we just started playing Elmo because we were sick of Miss Rachel and therefore?
To be fair, you started playing Elmo. I didn't
I
mind
couldn't.
Miss Rachel.
Okay.
I
You
could
know
take
what?
another
No.
second
I don't want to
Miss
say I
Rachel.
couldn't stand her. It's not like I was like sitting there going crazy. I was just like, I need something new. And the thing with Elmo is, I started with Elmo's World, which is different than Sesame Street, and that's why Sesame Street's on now because I can handle. Because Sesame Street's a lot of stuff,
Yeah, it is.
and that's what I don't mind about it, as opposed to Elmo's World. No.
I just think
No.
Elmo's kind of an annoying bitch.
Hi, I'm Elmo.
He just has that voice that just like goes through you. You know what I mean? Like it just goes through my brain. I would watch Miss Rachel 10 times over rather than watching Elmo. But Juliet likes it now, so thanks, Derek.
I say this? Elmo's got a small dick. I said it.
I said it. It happened.
I said it. I
It
had
is what
my
it is.
person of the week. Let's move on to my person
Yeah.
of the
What's
week.
your person of the week?
Um,
What is your person
My person of the week.
week?
My person of the week is going to be Riley. Yeah, Riley's my person of the week.
You're doing a pod with him tomorrow?
I'm doing a pod with him tomorrow. We went for burgers. So Riley and me, it was funny because I saw one of my clients in the street, but they're like I'm not trying to flex on this, but it's really hard to get in to see me, right? Like for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So a lot of my original clients that have been there, let's say like 5 years, they've stopped coming to see me.
Yeah.
Because it takes months to get in once, and they're consistent massages, right? So it's fine. Like I don't have any. Anyhow, one of them I saw was talking about how much they loved Riley, and that's who they went and saw. And I was like, yeah, I don't know him as an RMT, like how he treats. I know he's a good RMT. Like we've
Yeah.
spoken about the job before, so I like trust that, but I can't like say like, oh, he's done this to me.
Yeah.
But I was like, but that dude, the second I met him, I was laughing.
Yeah,
and
there
I
was a vibe,
like
right?
there was a vibe right away. And then sure enough, we haven't hung out in a while, and we see each other and chat a bit,
Yeah.
but we don't get to like hang all the time. And yesterday was just good. So anyhow, Riley, you're my person of the week. I'm looking super forward to podding with you tomorrow, and you're just a good dude, and I always learn from you. But it's not even about learning. Like Riley's just really smart, so I learn, but I just have a really fun time hanging with him. So
Yeah, that's the main thing, right?
Yeah, and he's a good dude. You're smart, you're kind, you're a good RMT, and you're really good at Dark Souls, which is a hard video game, which is all that really matters. No, I'm kidding. Riley, you're a good dude. That's my Person of the week. Shh. All right, and we're on to the buy and sell. Person of the week.
Stop.
Okay.
Is there more wine?
Neve. That's all we have is more wine.
Is it? I don't spill it. Wait, you didn't pour anything. You didn't pour anything.
Don't choke and die.
You're stinging me.
I
You're stinging me over here. Whoa, you stinged me so hard.
What are you talking about?
You just give me the
I'll be like
biggest
this.
stinge.
I'll be like this. Neve, you're an alcoholic. You need to stop. But really, it's just me chugging it because I'm like, Neve, you got to stop. Meanwhile, all my pockets, all the booze.
All my pockets.
Pocket full of booze. Bucket full of sunshine. Got a bucket full of booze. Yeah.
Okay, so
Whoa.
name the movie. I know it's just a song.
Alanis Morissette.
That's not a movie.
I thought we were doing the song.
So there's a movie that song pops up in a ton, and it's a card that sings that, but she opens it.
500 First Dates.
No.
Okay, I haven't.
It's Easy A.
Oh, I could have guessed that.
Yeah,
okay.
Easy A. She has a birthday card or something, and she opens it, and it sings that song to her, and then she just plays it until it dies, and then that's the whole song. Yeah.
I've got a thought here. Mm-hmm. What if we have a new segment each week where you do a movie review?
I don't want to do a whole review, but I'll do
a recommendation or something.
Okay, no. Here's one. Maybe what we could do is I'll do some quotes from movies, and you've got to guess the movie.
I like the game, but I can't do that.
Okay, let's start now. Not the gumdrop buttons. Come on, that's
Lord of the Rings, not Shrek.
Yeah, okay, Shrek.
Okay,
Shrek
I'm down to do
Shrek
it. The
one.
only I'm down to 100% do it. The only problem is it's gonna not that you have to do Shrek.
Here's another one. Here's
basically.
another one. Where's the baby? Where's the baby? Because I do that all the time.
Where's the baby?
Especially since we have a baby.
Is it Monsters Inc?
No, it's Shrek 3.
Oh, are all the answers Shrek movies? Okay, I think I can do this.
Wait. Do you know this story? I actually got kicked out of a Weatherspoons in England because I was being too rowdy, in quotation marks, and me being too rowdy was me yelling Shrek quotes in the middle of a pub. And as they were escorting me, the security were escorting me out, I just yelled, "Not the gumdrop buttons!" And I thought it was really fucking funny.
I would have laughed.
But I was everyone was drinking, and I was doing donkey something. I was like, in the morning, I'm making waffles, but I'm yelling it the top of my lungs. And then I got kicked out of Weatherspoons. And I also stole some of their Christmas decorations.
Did that have anything to do with why they told you to leave?
No, I was being rowdy. I was yelling Shrek quotes and stealing Christmas decorations.
Yeah, I guess that sums it all up pretty
fair
good.
for them kicking me out.
Okay, so I think we're gonna do that.
Okay, new segment.
We'll have a new segment for you guys next week. Anyhow, buy and sell. Mine was Dad Time with JJ, and yours was Tatted Up.
For our buys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My buy of this week. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna put goals, but it was just
Dem goals.
Dem goals. GOLZ. Yeah, my goal in soccer. To be honest with you, I don't want to sound cocky because it's. I know I will, but it's not the nicest goal I've ever scored. It was a really good goal. I smashed it well in the way I took it and everything, but it wasn't top left corner perfect. So I've done better.
but like I haven't done one that meaningful in a very long time.
Yeah, I think it was just more meaningful because it got everyone, it got you equalized and it got you riled up.
Yeah,
as
well, that's
like,
the
that's the thing, right?
that's a lot of the times like if you're watching sports highlights when you watch the like. Our dog is so freaking cute. Nui, I love you.
Did you tell her that telepathically? And wordly?
I did that time. I did that time.
Why you pull that face every time you try and talk to her?
It's kind of like,
okay,
just
okay.
for, wait, just for those that know, like, me trying to telepathy with my dog is doing a form of the blue steel from Zoolander.
No, it's not even blue steel. It's like,
Yeah, but it's
what's
this.
that? Oh, you know what it is? Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. The guy that's the sardine baby. He goes.
Yeah, but it's the same thing as blue steel. It's like
about
the
Blue
same
Steel
pose.
/ Sardine
It's
Baby.
like the same pose. Like every time I'm like, do this like. Okay, so yeah, like the one thing that's interesting about sports is like the meaning of the goal versus the goal. Sometimes you put one top left corner off the post and in, that's crazy. But another time it's like you passed an empty net, but it's like in the moment of like the context of the time, it meant so much kind of thing.
Go sports.
Sports. Anyhow, your bye?
My buy of the week will just be I don't know, the whole week's just been good. It's been really beautiful weather. It's been I've had a good time at work. Do you have wine dripping down your chin?
I can feel it. I could feel it going down the whole time.
It looked like you were like a vampire and had just like a stripe of blood going on your chin slowly. Anyway,
Excuse me.
I've just had a really good week in general. Like, work's been really good and fun because I've been using my brain and like consistently doing stuff and getting at it hard. But also it's just been beautiful weather. We've had a lot of like family time. Just
Agreed.
like us being out, us four. And I've really enjoyed that, and I've just had a really good week. So
Good.
the whole week has been my buy of the week.
That's a good week. Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I've agreed. We have a, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I always think of it is, it sucks to do the same thing over and over. So you don't want to just always spend family time, like just us.
Yeah.
Because I shouldn't say suck, because it
It's
wouldn't
like,
suck.
okay.
No,
Okay.
but just hear me out, like the whole thought before
Yeah.
you think that. Like, if all we did was just us, it wouldn't be the same.
Yes.
Because, right? So
It's
like,
quality time.
it's quality
I think
time.
that's
So
what
it's
I
like,
mean.
if all we did was just spend time together, I don't think you'd be like, oh yeah, my buy of the week was family time, because
No.
that's all you do. But, and also the reason the family time was good was because we were doing other things that were
We
good.
were getting out and doing
Like,
stuff.
well,
it wasn't like we were
and
just,
also
like,
your
hanging.
parents were here, so I guess you could argue family time, but like we were doing a lot of like outward family time, like not just our little unit.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's just I don't know, it's great because it doesn't always happen.
No, and I think that's what I mean is like, my parents were here for a while, and then we've just had we've had stuff going on for like since November, December. We just haven't really stopped.
Okay, well, let's think. October was Halloween /
birthday.
JJ's birthday.
Yeah.
Or JJ's birthday / Halloween party. There's an order, and it's JJ's birthday.
Yeah, and then November was relatively chill, and then at the end of November we had Survivor Series, and then we had Hawaii immediately after.
Yeah.
As soon as we got back from Hawaii, it was Christmas. As soon as Christmas was done, my friends from England were here.
And
then it was my
New
birthday.
Year's. No, New Year's.
Well, New Year's they were still here. but
Okay, yeah. And
then it was
your
my birthday, and then my parents got here immediately after.
for 3 weeks. Well,
For-
a week and then 2 more weeks. Yeah.
So we've just like consistently been doing a lot, but I think why I've enjoyed this week so much is because like it's not even that like my mom left, it's just that we have now had some time, just our family unit, like you, me, Juliet, and Nuo.
Yeah.
And we've actually just like, and it's not been anything crazy. We've just like taken a trip down to the park. You know what I mean? But we've done it
or like
all together.
going to Lucas Center and JJ running.
Yeah, exactly.
So
We've been to
That
Lucas Center.
That video of JJ running, I think is one. You know, the one where I'm like,
Yeah.
that's so good, and it's not the video. It actually, every time I see it, I just am like, that was so fun.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. It's just like the time that we've spent together this week. Like, we've been to the Lucas Center twice. We went down to Delbrook over the weekend. Like, we've just done stuff all together. It's not like we've just been like sitting at home or relaxing all together. We've like
done things.
Well, and I just think that's a really nice vibe, and especially now the weather's getting good. The weather gets good. You feel good. And it just makes me excited now.
Spring's my favorite. I'm a bias because it's my birthday.
Yeah.
But it's the best time for me because fall is nice. Fall's the same, but fall is you go from the hot to the cold.
Yes.
Whereas this is the cold to the hot.
Yes.
So it's like the opposite vibe of like, you're like, oh, like I gotta bundle up, but oh, I'm gonna go out to this thing and it's sunny but cold. But then by the end, it's just sunny. Whereas fall's the opposite. It's like nice out, and then by the end of the activity, you're like, I gotta wear a jacket.
Well, I think the main thing is as well, it hasn't been raining, which is a big thing for me. I love it when, like, I can deal with the cold, like, if it's sunny. I just don't want to be wet. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be, like, fucking sat with an umbrella, you know?
I mean, I don't, like, okay, the thing I find with wet and cold, it's, like, cold and wet, like, they're kind of, like, the inverse of, like, what's worse, being cold or wet?
I don't really mind either unless they're together.
Yeah, I mean, I think the worst is wet and cold, like, as opposed to, like if you have to, I'd rather be, it's really cold and dry versus wet and cold. Like, wet and cold is brutal, right?
It is.
But I can't remember what I was talking about. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just saying it's been a really good week where we've like been out and done stuff together.
Yeah. So now let's move on to Cells. Mine was Primeval ending. So American Primeval, a must watch in my eyes. Mm-hmm. It's the true Wild West. If you want to see what the Wild West looks like, go watch Primeval, American Primeval. But I'm happy because between White Lotus and Traders, we found really good shows. We've been on. I just gotta say, we've been on a roll lately. I've been enjoying it, but I also think part of it is I don't think we binge.
No, it's stuff we're actually invested in.
But also we only watch 1 or 2 episodes.
Yes.
And I genuinely think, and that's why I've been saying to you, like, remember I texted you, I was like, I've been enjoying watching shows lately. It's because I think if you watch 4 episodes of Traders or 5 in a day, you don't pay attention. Yeah. Even if you're literally watching it, whereas if you do 1 or 2 a day, you actually are like invested and can like do it. So I've just enjoyed that. My sell of the week.
Well, wait, what was my sell of last week?
The road rage incident.
Oh yeah, fair.
Yeah, that's that's fair. To remind people, that was the dude that came up on my baby daughter and my baby mama and tried to mess him up. But my baby mom messed him up verbally, of course.
Verbally, of course. We don't tolerate violence in this house. Unless they really deserve to be.
Unless we are on the upper hand, in which case violence is always cool. If we look cool doing it, we promote violence. No, we kid. Shoot, just stab. My sell of the week is the pedo vans.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, so I hate this because it proves my point. Not like my point. I shouldn't say that, but it proves what I like feel of like there's drug trafficking, sex, pedophiles everywhere. But I don't think that, like, I don't walk around like checking over my shoulder. But it proves like this stuff happens. Yeah. And it was into the people. So I'm just gonna run this over one more because I think it might have been. I don't know if it was on the pod or not.
No, you did like a news flash, but it wasn't very good.
My sell of the week was basically, basically literally.
It was Sunday morning, right?
No,
that
Saturday
it happened
morning.
Saturday morning.
So Friday. This happened Saturday, but Sunday, Friday, but Saturday morning. I was. So
you took Nuo out, right?
I took New out, and I was getting groceries because he was gonna make us breakfast. So I was going to like do all that. So I go out, and let's say it's like 10:00 in the morning now, and I'm just arriving home, and I'm getting all the groceries out. But on the drive in, I noticed there was an undercover cop car on our street. And right away, I thought it was weird, but like weird in the sense of you're just like, oh, there's a cop car here.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Right? But then as I got out of my car, I noticed that there was 3 or 4 cops walking around everywhere. Like they were like at all the houses. And then right away, a woman comes up to like a cop. She's a female cop, and she like comes up to me and just starts. But not like that. She's like she was at the bottom of the driveway. I was across the street, which I also noticed. It's weird talking to cops. They make a lot of distance between you that makes me feel uncomfortable. But I get it because they don't want like confrontation.
Yeah.
It felt really weird. I was like, I feel like we're talking from really far away. But anyhow, that's
besides the point.
Besides the point. So she comes up to me and she was just like, hey, and I was like, hey, is something going on? Like, and she's like, yeah, like, do you own this house? And I was like,
I wish.
I was like, me and the Corolla parked out across the street. Yeah, we own the place. And I was just like, yeah, like, what's going on? And she said, basically, our cul-de-sac, we're at the end of the cul-de-sac. We're not in the circle, but we're right before the circle starts at the end of the cul-de-sac. So we're like, whereas apparently, and the kids always, I don't want to say the kids always play. There's a couple of, there's definitely a few kids on our street that play up and down. Yeah. Up and down, but the thing is, they're down the street more.
Yeah.
But they do come down here all the time. But they're definitely, it's not like they're the neighbors of that, like right here.
Yeah.
They're down, right? So anyhow, it doesn't matter. They're little kids, and I guess there was a black truck and a white van, and the police officer said that they were trying to lure the kids. And
so fucked up.
That's fucked, period. But the only thing I don't really understand, because it was kind of weird. I told her I was a renter, and I even told her that I was like, yeah, I live like in this place, and excuse me, and I have a daughter that's 16 months, so like it's of interest to me. But I definitely didn't feel like she told me everything.
Yeah.
She told me enough, but I don't think
well,
she told
yeah,
me
I
everything,
mean,
which is fine.
that's,
I'm not expecting her to, but like, I don't think I have the full story when I say this. But basically, from my understanding of it was, there was these 2 vehicles, and something happened, and when I say something happened, it got back to the police that the kids were trying to be believed to be trying to be lured. So I don't know if that means the kids ran and were like, Mama, Dada, this happened, or like, I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah. The police were here talking about. I don't know.
No. There was one night over the weekend when I was like driving out, and there was a police car parked like down the road, and I was like, oh, that's weird. But it was probably when that was being called in. Like, it was around the same time. I think it was the Friday night. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Okay, so my sell of the week would be... I don't know. I don't have a sell of the week. I don't know. I've had a good week.
The economy, tariffs.
Oh.
Yeah, just do it. That I feel like that's a fair one.
The tariffs kind of suck right now.
I know.
I was saying to Derek earlier that I was like, it's not like the tariffs suck because of my job and what I do and how we're having to adapt to what may or may not be happening. So yeah, tariffs sucked.
I don't want to be like super political with it, but I feel like tariffs are like, it just sucks. If your country's getting tariffs, that sucks.
Yeah.
Period.
So tariffs suck. We done. Bye.